Something Mark said yesterday about this streak and the relationships on the field are starting to pay off. Have you seen this group sort of develop those relationships? I guess over this last seven, 8 games here.
Yeah, I think, I said it a little bit earlier that the group, there's some new faces in the group and learning how to win together as a team, how to trust each other on the field in certain situations. You have to sometimes go through tough times, but I feel that through the determination, the grit, being on the road, whatever those different things are, that the guys they're kind of coming together with each of these results, and a little bit more in terms of the relationships, a little bit more in terms of just sharing the ball. Not first half we were rushing things a bit, but second half I felt we calmed the game down a little bit more. We're a little bit more positionally disciplined, but I just feel the connections are coming, so it's nice because our game depends on it. The way we want to play depends on sharing of the ball. It depends on the relationships of the players and the way they move and being coordinated with each other, and not just looking to figure out how I get the ball, but how we move the ball together to rotate into different positions based off of our awareness of one another. And so I just feel like it's gotten better, and with that, we've gotten better. We've minimized the number of challenging moments that we've had over the course of the games, and we've increased the number of good moments that we've had over games, and we've been executing on some of our final actions, which was a challenge for us early in the season, and we're obviously finishing more and taking advantage of that. And I think defensively, while we've lost Martin and we've lost guys in the back, the group has at least found a certain level of just communication, organization, talking each other through situations, and they've dealt with these games really well. For Kelvin, who's been out of position, has done a fantastic job working with Chris just to help stabilize the back line. So they've been doing great. Those are just part of the relationships that are inside of it. But you see Douglas and Ricky, and Douglas, Ricky, and Tyler, and their relationships too, and the attacking side. There's a lot of good things coming out of the group right now, and also the positivity from getting results makes people feel happier, and when you're happy, you get out of your head a little bit, and when you get out of your head, you can connect with people, and so all these things, they all matter.
And my next question was Ricky and Douglas, even Tyler as well. What more can you say about that trio, the way they're working right now?
Yeah, they're flying. They're playing at another speed. All three of them, they can play the game at a high speed. Ricky and Douglas's ability to get away from the first defender and open up new scenarios. Their combination play. Tyler's running helps us out because he stretches the game. He runs without the ball. He creates forward options for us. He creates the space a lot for guys to receive balls between the lines, and he's also been able to combine with these guys. So again, I think they're getting into a rhythm with each other. I think they're playing with a level of predictability and certainty for one another, not necessarily for the other team, but for each other, that is allowing the game to flow and the rhythm, and they're enjoying themselves again. I think they're finding joy in sharing and working together and creating 2-3 player combinations, things like that, which is nice inside of what we want to do.
Hey, Greg, maybe it's more of the same, but the midfield and sort of the domination that maybe we've seen starting in San Jose. I thought San Jose was probably one of your best passing games in the midfield. You do it against LAFC. You do it against Philadelphia. These are all very good teams. Like I said, maybe it's more of the same, but what has been the difference in the last 3-4 games with that midfield?
I think we're more connected. We're a little closer together. Again, paying attention to each other a little bit more. I've asked Markey to sit a little bit deeper than where he was maybe earlier in the season, where he was higher and running out and doing a lot of attacking types of situations. He's now sitting a little bit lower, staying more connected to Gaston, which is opening up some space for Douglas to come inside. It's opening up space for us to create kind of sometimes a box or different looks where we're staying a little bit closer together and we're able to play faster off of each other. So some of it's adjustments, some of it's just, again, the group starting to settle into a rhythm and getting comfortable together, and again, I don't mean the word trusting each other, but it's just playing a little bit quicker, a little bit faster, and bouncing balls off each other, keep moving, know that you're going to get it back, stuff like that. So there's a rhythm to our game now that I felt like didn't exist in some of the stretches before, and I felt like that was partly because we were just battling for a win, you know. And now I feel like we've, you know, probably 8 games ago, we started really just saying it's about our process. We need to get better. And the guys start talking about process and every day trying to improve on one thing and getting a little bit better at one thing. And I feel like we're in a much better place just here as much as anything. And so the other stuff kind of comes together with that.
And going back to Ricky, I think at the beginning of the year we talked about him possibly being one of the better players in Major League Soccer, maybe among the most talented. But he seems to be taking over games, obviously with a lot of help in the midfield. But he doesn't seem to be Markle. Is that fair?
Yeah, it's fair, you know, and I think this goes. Look, in the game of soccer, it's impossible for one guy to really win a game. You need a team, you need guys connecting, you need those relationships that we've been talking about. You got to use everybody on the field. And again, I think in the stress of just trying to get a result, the game for us was turning a little bit individual for guys, just trying to make that play that gets that goal, because we were struggling to get goals. And so we were losing the connection with each other. And I feel like now that that's coming back, you're seeing the best of those guys, including Ricky. You're seeing the best of Ricky because he uses players to bounce off of them. He gives them the ball, he keeps moving, gets it back, plays, and that's part of the beauty of what he does and how he builds speed into attacks. And now, again, as the ball flows and the game is flowing and it has a rhythm to it, he shows you all the ability that he has, you know, and a heck of a finish today, too.
Hey, Greg, congratulations on the win. So in this 7-game unbeaten stretch, you guys have managed to climb back into a playoff spot with a win next week over Vancouver. You guys will have the 9th playoff spot. How do you approach that game, and what's the mentality in the dressing room right now? I mean, obviously, just a month ago, it seemed dire straits, you know, in Galaxyland, but what is the mentality like now?
Well, the guys are, you know, there's a lot of confidence, there's a lot of joy, there's I mean, dare I say it's a 180 a little bit from where we were. But again, I think a lot of that was just us taking some of the stress off of the result, even though we knew we had to win, but putting the stress on playing together, playing our way, playing our style. And I said, just be relentlessly committed to our style of play and how we want to play the game. And that's the best way you have a chance of getting a result. And we stepped back a little bit in order to really focus on our game, our connections, our different things like that. And again, we grinded out some road wins during that process, which all of a sudden you start having an unbeaten streak, even though we didn't have as many wins in it as we wanted, and then you get a win out of it, and then now you've put together 2 wins against 2 very good teams and great environments, and now you see how quickly, if you can build momentum in this league, you can put yourself right back into the discussion pretty quickly. And so what's our approach next week is, just to try to continue to get better, right? Try to take some things from this game. I think from the first half to the second half, in the second half for me, we got a little bit more positionally disciplined. We weren't quite as all over the place. We were able to put together some strings of possession, get the ball from one side, get it to the other side, which if you do that against a diamond, you're going to be able to advance a lot. We created some great chances. You know, I feel for Decky because he had two really good chances, and he's just pressing so much to score, and we want him to get it. But I felt like the team was more stable in the second half, not so much in a rush, because everything in the first half really felt like it was off of a transition, and we were just trying to go so fast. And the second half, we controlled the game better. I felt like we controlled the game with the ball through stretches, and then we stayed a little bit more together on the defensive side. So again, building off of first half to second half, now what can we take and use as we go to Vancouver to give ourselves the best chance to get a result? And that's what we've been talking about, is just one play at a time. You can't win the game without making that play in the moment. So we're just trying to focus on that.
Hey, Greg. There was a minute on the sideline where play stopped, and you and Douglas Costa had a moment. You patted him, he kind of patted you. There was this really nice scene from the press box, a mutual respect. not only is he healthy, but he seems happier playing here. And I think sometimes we underestimate, how tough it is for players to move. Is that the case with him?
Yeah, for sure. He's happy. His integration with our team has been fantastic. I think he's gotten himself really fit. The hardship for us is that we missed him through the first chunk of the season. The good part of that was he got really lean, he got really fit, he took himself to another level than anything he's been since he's been here. And he's sharp, and he's repeating sprints, he's changing speeds, he's connecting with his teammates. Again, playing his type of game, and we're seeing the quality that he has, that we all know he has, but you don't see it in 1 or 2 moments. You're seeing it over the course of 90 minutes now. And I think, he's enjoying himself. He's a wonderful guy, and when he's confident and he's feeling like he is right now, sky's the limit for him. He's so capable of doing what he wants around the field. It's fun to watch, and we're just trying to keep building the team around those guys and what they're capable of doing.
And just one last one. There was a couple times where it looked like you were going totally nuts on the sideline.
Which part?
Well, it looked mostly when you were out of possession and you were dictating movement a little bit a couple times. Would that be correct, or?
Yeah. There's a time, and one of the things that we've been talking about is choosing the right moments when to rest. And I think at times in the season, and I think the first goal we gave up, we're resting when we don't have the ball, and that's not a good time to rest. You've got to keep moving, and you got to stay active, and you can't, because that's where we have our vulnerable moments. So I've been a little more animated during those moments just to make sure that we're keeping our weak side players are staying connected to our group as we're sliding across, that we're getting guys to where we need to get them to. Just again, we love to have the ball. We just need to make sure that we don't resting when we don't have the ball. And we've talked a lot about resting with the ball now. And I think some of the possessions we had in the second half, we were able to get from side to side, keep possession. They weren't able to touch the ball. We were able to pin them into their half because we finished the attack deep. They tried to clear it out. We'd win it again. That's how we want to shorten the field. That's the ways we want to rest, not when we don't have the ball, and because we create vulnerabilities for ourselves when we do that. So that's why I was a little animated in those moments, just trying to keep us locked in during those times.
Hey, Greg, I got a couple for you. Yesterday you were asked about the back-to-back wins over champion and runner-up, and you kind of prefaced it with, I don't know if I could even describe what it would mean. Now that you've done it, what does it mean? What does it say about you?
Yeah, I think if you look at this stretch of games, and again, we haven't won them all, but we've played at altitude on the road twice. We've played in St. Louis, who's been a tough team to play. We've played in some difficult places against some good teams in our league. Even Salt Lake has been on a huge run right now, and we went there, we beat them in their place. And obviously LAFC is the champion, and the runner-up is Philadelphia. So this hasn't been an easy stretch of games for us. It's been a number of them on the road and good teams on top of it. So again, I just think it shows what we're capable of doing. If we can stay focused, continue doing the little things inside of the game that we've talked about tonight, continuing to grow together as a group, continue to get better. I don't think there's anyone that we can't play with, we can't beat anywhere or anytime, and that's something that we have to, if we don't hurt ourselves, there's not a game we can't win in this league. And so this little stretch has been able to give us that confidence that I think we need. And we've got one more, and then we have Leagues Cup break, which I don't know if that comes at the greatest time, but it is what it is. We'll regroup, and we've got one more to try to get 3 points out of that one as well.
Is this the best 90 minutes you've played this year?
I'm not sure. I'd have to watch it back and confirm that. I think we've had some good games. I think when we played, this is just a different game against a team that's so direct, and they just put you in difficult moments quickly. When we played San Jose here, I would have said then that was one of our best, because I felt like we controlled the game and they didn't have much. Again, the LAFC game, I don't know if it was our best game, but it's a huge win for us. So it's up there. I mean, we don't have a ton of wins, so it's hard to say that there's a lot to choose from. But it was certainly one of them, and this is a team that creates a lot of challenges that you have to deal with through the course of a game, and we dealt with them pretty well.
Yeah, it seemed like you guys dealt with them very well.
Yeah.
And lastly, we've talked about Ricky and the way he can slip in between people, his speed, all of that. What we haven't really talked about is his vision. Is there anything he doesn't see out there? Because I'm watching him, and to me, he's got the type of vision that you saw with someone like Cruyff.
Yeah, again, I think when Ricky is where he is right now, which is playing at the speed he's playing, connecting with his teammates the way he's been connecting with his teammates, then I think he sees everything. There's a stretch when I know he had a lot of stress on him to try to help the team win games when we weren't winning games, and sometimes that takes you inside your own head and you don't see as much in those moments. But I think one of the great steps forward, if you will, I don't know if that's the right word, that he's made in this stretch is that his head is up. He sees everyone. He's playing at a different speed, and he knows every one of his options all the time, which makes him virtually impossible to deal with. And a lot of that is him just coming out of this, coming out of his head and the frustration and the stress that he was feeling to try to score or help the team win in any possible way, and just connecting with the group and enjoying himself. I read that, he said he felt like a little kid the other night playing the game. When he feels like a little kid, he's in a really good spot, because that's when you know he's having fun and he's enjoying it. When he does that, he's fantastic. Yeah. So, yeah. Thank you.